Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn, guys. I'm still here. My flight has been delayed. I'm going to be going on the 7th of July, guys. So I'm still here. You're going to have to endure me for a little bit longer, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're new. Please don't forget to smash a like on the way in, on the way out, whether you like what you see, whether you don't like what you see. And not everyone's cup of tea. I'm a bit like Marmite, isn't it? At the end of the day, ain't we all? Guys, let's get straight into it, guys. Thank you, folks. Again, thank you for joining me. You guys are amazing. Firstly, guys, let's get straight into it. Manchester United, of course, in regards to Mbeumo. Look, I know there's a lot of frustration, guys, and I'm getting annoyed as well. Look, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I'm getting a little bit frustrated with Mbeumo deal. I am getting that. I think Brentford are taking the mick. I think Man United are trying their best to get the best deal. Of course, obviously, the deal's taking too long and stuff like that. That's understandable. But as we said from the beginning, the end of June, the 1st of July is when the deal is going to be done. And this is what we said at the begining of when we were just in for Mbeumo. The deal's going to be done. It's going to be done. It is almost done. So happily, he's going to have his medical. Apparently, next week, the deal will be signed, sealed, delivered. It will be next week, guys. Absolutely. It'll be done and dusted. Absolutely. It would be brilliant. And if Man United get this deal through the door, then we can move on to other players, of course, guys. And I'm sure there's going to be some surprises going on over this next few weeks, of course. And a lot of people, guessing, second guessing and stuff like that, who we're going to sign and stuff. But Mbeumo coming through. Look, a lot of people are saying, let's turn our back on Mbeumo. I actually feel that Mbeumo is imperative. He's important for Man United. I really do. I think he's an absolute essential player for Man United going forward. I know there's some people who feel like, we should just walk away. I don't think so. I think he's so important for Manchester United. I really do. I think if we get Mbeumo through the door, that's going to be incredible because we'll have Cunha and Mbeumo. I just want to see those two up at the number 10 positions. I really do. And I think as well, it would help other players in our team. It will help the likes of Chido Obi-Martin. It will help Rasmus Højlund, of course, and maybe even Musa, who might even walk into the team next year. Who knows? But you know what? Mbeumo medical next week, guys. Next week, the medical for Brian Mbeumo will be conducted. Fingers crossed, hopefully, and we get this deal over the line, guys, which is absolutely fantastic. There's a lot of guessing. There's a lot of noises around the Mbeumo deal, of course. A lot of people guessing. It's been pretty obvious that of the fee has been around that mark, 63 plus 5 plus 10, 53. It's always been around that mark, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it was always going to happen. It is always going to happen at the end of the day. That's what I would say about that. But thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Let's get through some of your comments, guys. Big up, Miguel. Big up, my friend Miguel. Michael, what's going on? I called you Miguel. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Sal. Much love from Ethiopia. Big up, Ethiopia family. What's going on, my brother? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Marky Mark. What's going on, my friend? Morning, Sal. The community. Sorry, I've been moving into my new house the past couple of days. Excited to see where we can go before pre-season. Glory, May 9. Big up, Marky Mark. How you doing, fella? I hope you're doing well. And I hope you have a happy and lucky stay in your new property, my friend. I know what it's like to move. Moved a lot of times in my life. You know what I mean? So I absolutely wish you all the best. Bill, good morning, Bill. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Natty, good morning, Sal. Sancho is what more money than is football great. Look, I said this yesterday. This deal with Sancho and Juve or Napoli is not going to be straightforward. As much as we want Sancho out the door, this is not going to be easy, guys. I'm telling you right now, this deal is going to be difficult because Sancho is digging his heels in. Sancho wants the money. He doesn't want to take a pay cut. At the end of the day, he doesn't want to take a pay cut. And this is a mercenary that we're dealing with. This is the kind of character that we've been dealing with. You know what I mean? And just those small details about Sancho can tell you a lot about his performances at Manchester United over the last few years. And when you look at, for example, Sancho at Dortmund and you look at the first time at Dortmund, right? And then you look at him at Man United. Look at the difference. Look at the way he looks, everything about him. He's a proper professional footballer then. Nowadays, he's just a rich, oversized, Brian Harvey. Was it not Brian Harvey? What's Katie Price's son looking mother? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Big up Fanatic 8. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up all blessings from Manchester. Big up Fanatic 8 and big up Manchester. It's all about Manchester, isn't it? Manchester is red. Of course, guys. Big up Fanatic 8, you legend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you again, mate. Absolutely. GK, what's going on, my friend? It is planned the first week, I think, coming up. Yeah, it is, GK. And one thing about people must be patient. And this is the thing. I've been saying it for weeks now. This is going to be end of June. It's going to be announced. 1st of July, he'll be walking into the football club, hopefully, around that time. It will be around that time. So give and take 1 or 2 days. But it will be around that time that he will be walking into the football club. So at the end of the day, the deal is done, guys. We've gone too far with this deal to be turning around and say, nah, we don't want to do it anymore. Mbeumo will be a Man United player. Mbeumo, for me, is a Manchester United player. And we will see him next season. But the problem I'm having, right, is that I don't want to drag out all July looking for a striker. I want us to get deals done. I want us to be ready and prepared for the next deal because we got a lot of work to do. Man United are not like Liverpool. Man United are not like City. Man United are not like Arsenal or Chelsea. Man United have a lot of work to do in regards to outgoings and ingoings. So we need to get on with it. We need to move on and Ariston, as we know, of course. Good morning, Timo. How you doing, you great person? How you doing, mate? Good morning, beautiful people. Thank you so much, Timo. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Kevin, what's going on? Who is Italian goalkeeper, bro? All right, I'm going to get into this now, guys. Certain journalists have mentioned it after me, guys, and I want to clarify this right now because I said it a week ago, right? A week ago that we were after the goalkeeper Marco Konasekki. Okay, Marco Konasekki is the goalkeeper that Manchester United are interested in. Marco Konasekki. Now, I mentioned this a week ago. So anyone who's saying that, oh, you know what, as announced on my show 2 days ago, we mentioned it a week ago on this channel, guys. This community is the best. And we mentioned it on this channel a week ago that Marco Konasekki has been linked with a move to Manchester United as an option. Man United are still obviously interested in Costa of Porto. Of course, Manchester United and Ruben Amorim are admirers of Costa. And obviously, Amorim would prefer Costa. But there is also Man United are also looking for maybe a second goalkeeper, maybe 2 goalkeepers who could fight it out between each other. One of them is Marco Konasekki. Marco Konasekki's market value, though, is 25 million. He's only 24. For a goalkeeper, is a very, very good age. Contract expires in 2028. Look, you know what? He is an Italian international. Hasn't had a cap yet, but he's been called up to the Italian national team. So, you know what? He is a decent goalkeeper. So, we play that one by ear. Man United, obviously, interested in Marco Konasekki as exclusive on Stretford Post, not Padula. Exclusive on Stretford Post a week ago, if you scroll back. We were talking about Marco Konasekki. Right. And that's what I would say about that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we got our ears to the ground on this channel, guys. We got our ears to the ground with this community, of course. Absolutely. And so Marco Konasekki, of course, is interesting one. You know what? Man United and historically with Italian goalkeepers, of course, when we think about Italian goalkeepers, we think about Massimo Taibi, don't we? You know what? It's not quite like that, is it, at the end of the day? But you know what we have to do is just understand that we can't paint everyone with the same brush, can we? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. Bill, watched Juve 2-5, Man City, stay clear of Vlahovic. Yeah, he scored, but he's doing nothing to help the team. He trotted around up front and looked like he don't care. You know what? I'll be honest with you, Bill. I didn't watch the game. Yesterday, I had to go to the airport. I had to change my flight. Apparently, to go to Oman, because I had a flight which is connecting and stuff. And apparently, I didn't have I had to get a visa and stuff like that. I thought, no, you know what? Forget that. I'll just stick to my old flight. So I'm going on the 7th of July. But when I went there, I missed the game. I was tired when I got home and I just had an interview. Of course, those who see my interview with Sebastio Sosa Pinto, go and watch that, guys. Great interview, great insight about Man United's links to Portuguese players and Ruben Amorim, his formations and stuff like that. A really great insight to what, you know, Portugal think of Ruben Amorim and stuff like that. But I didn't get to watch the game. But if you're saying that Vlahovic was poor, I take your word for it, Bill. I take your word for it. But obviously, you know what? He scores a lot of goals, doesn't he? He puts the ball in the back of the net. I think that's what Man United need someone to put the ball back in the net. But in regards to Marco Konasekki, Manchester United are interested in Marco Konasekki. He could be one of the choices that could come to Man United. But Man United are also interested in other goalkeepers. Of course, Martinez and Costa, of course, are also on the list. Just because we're interested doesn't mean we're going to sign them. Man United are giving themselves contingency plans. If a certain goalkeeper doesn't work, they got another goalkeeper to fall back on. And it's a rope to fall back on, so to speak, isn't it? So that is very interesting. Going forward, of course, big up Bill. Gav, what's going on, my friend? I don't want to hear anyone moaning about Amorim next season. Blame the bound and idiots behind him. Gav, you know what I would say, Gav? If he doesn't get backed, if we don't have the players in by the start of next season, then we're going to be blaming. Look, at the end of the day, look, I'm the same as everybody. I'm a Man United fan. I'm a human being. I support Man United a long time. I love the football club, and I know that people get frustrated when, you know, if the deals are not getting done. You know, and I agree with that. I agree that the deal should be getting done quicker, and I'm not going to flip-flop. If the Mbeumo deal is not done by the 1st of July, which is only a few days away, guys, 1st of July, if we're not getting a here we go in the next couple of days, you know what, then we're going to have to start raising the volume on these guys. And you know what, because this deal has been going a long time. Are Brentford taking the piss? Yeah, Brentford are. But why wouldn't they at the end of the day? Why wouldn't they? But the problem is that we employed Vivel and Wilcox and Berardo and all these guys to get the deals done, to get the deals over the line. This is a very difficult deal to do. Mbeumo's medical should be next week, which means he's signed for the football club, Gav. He's already a Man United player. We're already balls deep in this transfer at the moment. So at the end of the day, this transfer is going to be done. The biggest concern for me is how long we're going to take to get the striker in, how long we're going to take to get the right wing back in, how long we're going to take to get another goalkeeper in. You know, is this going to be? Have they got a chink in their armor? Have they got a trick up their sleeve? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, have they got that? Are they going to come out with 2-3 signings at once? In my opinion, no, they probably won't. But one thing's for certain, they have to back Ruben Amorim to the core. As you said yesterday, as we said yesterday on the show yesterday with my guest, we said that he needs to be backed. Ruben Amorim loves aggressive, fast, powerful players. We don't have that. We have small, delicate players. You know what I mean? No disrespect to Ahmad and players like that, but we have small, delicate players, you know, who roll around the ground. This is why we brought in the likes of Cunha and we brought in the likes of Mbeumo and players like that, which, you know, obviously is good for Manchester United, obviously with strength and power and pace and pressing and things like that, of course. So that is very, very good, of course. But big up, Gav. Gav, look, listen, Gav, look, you know, much love to you, brother. And hopefully we get the deals done, mate. I'm frustrated, you're frustrated, and everyone is frustrated, my guy. And hopefully that we get things done and we start the season in a confident move, because I'm not going to be here sugarcoating a pile of turd. I'm absolutely not. If we go into next season and I'm looking at the team and I'm seeing 99% of the same team that played last season, I'm going to be a little bit disgruntled and angry. In fact, I'll be very disgruntled and angry, because this is a chance for Ineos, and this is a chance for the Glazers. Not the Glazers, put the Glazers to one side. They're never going to prove us wrong at anything because they're absolute prats. But what I would say about the Ineos, this is their chance to show Manchester United fans they mean business. They mean business. You know what I mean? I would point towards the fact that July the 1st is obviously the things that's being done. The reason Liverpool spent a lot of money is because Liverpool didn't spend last season. You know what I mean? They didn't spend last season, so they got a bundle of money all stacked up. The reason Man United are waiting to the 1st of July is because if we buy players in June, we're eating into last year's budget. Last year's budget will be renewed on the 1st of July. So the renewal of the budget of Manchester United will be the 1st of July. So it'll be like a clean slate, and Man United can spend more on the FFP and PSR. Natty, Sal, do you like PSG or can we get him out of it? Like, guys, let me get into this. Of course, we mentioned him on the show before because this community is very, very sharp. Many weeks ago, Warren Zaire-Emery. I mentioned him last year, guys. Last year. I mentioned this guy, Warren Zaire-Emery. If that's how I pronounce it, a very talented French international, 7 caps for France, PSG player, an ambitious move from Manchester United for Warren Zaire-Emery, a very good player, guys. I'm not even lying. This guy is a quality. You know what? He's versatile. He can play in a number of positions as well. A sort of player that Man United should be looking for. His market value is 55 million euros. If Man United want to do a deal with Warren Zaire-Emery, they're going to have to pay up to 70 million, most likely, guys. Looking at this deal, I would love a deal like this. This is the type of deal I love. Do you know what I mean? He's the future. He's a generational. He's another generational coming out the PSG ranks. And I like what PSG are doing. I really do like what PSG are doing with players that are coming through. They're really producing some good players recently. And Emery is one of them. Now, Emery's been around a long time. People don't know this. He's been around for about 2 years. He obviously been in the youth team, always been highly rated, played as a right wing back before, defensive midfielder, he's a very versatile player, but a very good player, guys. And it's one that Man United should be looking at, of course. The problem is that Liverpool are also interested in Mr. Zaire Emery. Now, Liverpool seem to be interested in everything that Manchester United are doing at the moment. Liverpool seem to be interested in as well. It's no coincidence, is it? That, everything we do, they do, I mean, you say potato, we say potato. I don't know if that makes sense anyway, but 55 million up to 60 million euros at Man United would probably be 70 million. Central midfield, defensive midfield, can play as a right wing back, guys, as well. People don't mention this, but he can. And he's someone that I would be extremely excited about getting. Will we get him? A low chance, but you know what? Man United do have an ambitious inquiry about Zaire Emery, and it's the type of signing that I would dearly love at Manchester United because I like those kind of signings myself. Of course, Gav, we need to get going fast. We finished 15th. The club is so bad. Transfers unbelievable. Look, at the end of the day, as I've explained, Gav, you know what? One thing about Ineos, what they do, which I don't agree with, is that they keep their cards very close to their chest. They don't really explain what's going on. They don't really talk about what's going on. Of course, we've signed one player so far. Well, two. Well, I would say that Mbeumo is done. I would say myself, Mbeumo is done. We signed two players. So, look, you know what? As long as we start the season and we're confident and we got the players that we need, I think that we'll be all right, guys. Absolutely. And hopefully we'll have a good season next season. And I firmly believe we will. Big up, Lee Davis. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Big up, Lee, of course. Absolutely. Miles, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, Miles. Hope you're good. Good, as I said, hope you're well. Thank you for all you do for a wonderful channel, United Forever. We should never die. Peace, brother. Peace, brother, Miles. I love your positivity in the morning. Good to see you, mate. Thank you so much. Natty. He missed one or two chances, Vlahovic. Don't every striker misses chances. I would say that every striker does miss chances. You know what I mean? Andy Cole, it's a lot of chances. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, look, you know what? I understand about the contribution within the team that Vlahovic, he needs to work harder and stuff like that. Look, my biggest bone about Vlahovic, and you know what? It's basically, why would Juventus so eager to get rid of him? I know he's on a lot of money a week. I mean, but he's a very good player. It's a bit like Osimhen, isn't it? Why would Napoli want to get rid of Osimhen? Osimhen is a match winner. He's a title winner. He's someone who could drag you to the title. And obviously Napoli would love an Osimhen next season. Do you know what I mean? So why would they want to get rid of it? I always look at things in an objective kind of way. And you know what I mean? And subjective as well, guys, kind of way. Because, you know, there is always a more than meets the eye. There's more than one way to skin a cat. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I look at it and I think, why? I always question everything, and I think everyone should question everything. Everyone should question everything. I always look at things when I'm looking at someone. I give my opinion on someone, and I look at it and I judge it and I analyze it, and I say, look, you know what I mean? Nah, that is this player's like this or this player's like that. Of course, absolutely. Randall, what's going on? Morning, Sal. Hope everyone hits the like button. Thank you, Randall. Big up, everyone. Please don't forget to hit the like button. We got to get to at least 50 likes, up to 100. That's the level we got to get to, guys. Thank you so much for yesterday. Thank you, everyone who tuned into Chatterbox yesterday with Seb Sousa Pinto, a very, very good journalist, up and coming journalist. I think the future coming out of Portugal, guys. Don't worry, you're going to hear a lot more about him in the next few years, guys. The guy's an absolute G when it comes to it, when it comes to transfer news and stuff like that. So don't be surprised if you see him on that level, guys. But what I would say is that thank you everyone who joined me yesterday. It was absolutely fantastic. And Natty, he should have scored that one-on-one. Natty, you know what I would say that players miss chances. Bill, that's the thing it is. We all know how many chances we've missed over the last season, innit? You know what I mean? Even Bruno Fernandes has missed some ridiculous chances. Rasmus Højlund and stuff like that. Players miss chances, unfortunately. That's the way it is. The problem is that, you know, the thing is, what I would say is that he still bagged the goal, didn't he? And the thing is that players are always judged on their goal-scoring prowesses and their goal-scoring ability. This is why I want a number 9, because we got the 2 number 10s who could do all the pretty work. I want a number 9 just to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I want. You know what, Haaland's not going to take on 5 players and pull it in the bottom corner. He's not Ruud van Nistelrooy. You know what I mean? But what I would say is that I want a number 9 who can put the ball in the back of the net and can contribute towards working hard for the team as well. My opinion, honestly, Bill, I've never been a big fan of Vlahovic in regards to that. He's never been my favorite player. I say that. I've been saying that for a long time, but he is a good player. Is he the player to take Man United forward? I think there are better players out there, in my opinion. I'm just being honest, guys. Absolutely. But he's a good player. Big up, Lee. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Home Design LA. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Trotting around, not caring, and still scored. That looks like he has potential. Imagine how good he would be if he did care. Home Design LA. Maybe he thinks that he's going to leave the football club anyway. Maybe he thinks that I'm going to leave Juventus this season. So, you know what I mean? Whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe that. You know, I'm more concerned about Man City winning the game. I don't want Man City to win this tournament, to be honest with you. But they're looking pretty strong, to be honest with you. They're looking pretty strong, along with PSG, of course, and other teams. But PSG did lose the other day, didn't they? But Man City have been the most impressive team in this tournament so far. You know, and I don't want them to win the tournament. But what I would say is that, you know, there's more obviously context in regards to everyone's performances, and players miss chances. I've always said that. But when you're trotting around, I understand that. I agree with that little that sentiment there about trotting around and not working hard for the team. Tracking back and tackling and pressing and stuff is important. You know, and if he's not doing that, then, you know, then obviously we got a problem, because we do need someone who leads from the line, from the front line. You know, we do need someone next season who can hold up the ball, work hard for the team, bring other players into the game. You know what strikers do. This is why Vlahovic wouldn't be my first choice. I think he's a good player, but he just wouldn't be my first choice. Some people's first choice, some people say he's a fantastic player, this and that. That is obviously their choice. But for me, I would rather an Osimhen, a Gyokeres, or a Mateta for me. That would be my 3. Denbo, good morning. Hope you're well. We'll see things taking shape next week. Have faith, United. Yep, we will do, Denbo. We will do. I know it's frustrating, but what we have to say is that we cannot just forgive these guys. If this isn't done by the start of July, if we haven't got Mbeumo in and done and dusted and signed, sealed and delivered, then we can start, you know what, really upping the ante in regards to criticizing Ineos, etc. Because we need the deals done. I really want Ruben Amorim to have his players in. You know, even if we have the 2 number 10s, right? If we have the 2 number 10s, Ruben Amorim could work on the tactical shapes and stuff like that within the triangles, within the team for the preseason, you know, and because last season we couldn't score goals. So imagine we can work on that and then obviously be prepared for next season in regards to an attacking sense. You know what I mean? Bill, agreed, but he does look lazy. Yep. We don't need laziness in our football team. They take their time to waive wages, Pratt. Yeah, look, in regards to Sancho and Rashford, what can I say that hasn't already been said about Sancho and Rashford? Absolute mercenaries, to be honest with you. Egotistical maniacs, I would say. Absolute maniacs, egotistical prats. You know, they don't care about the football club. Absolutely not. They don't give 2 hoots about the football club, to be honest with you guys. They're just in it for themselves, you know. They don't really care about their football career either, because if you cared about your football career, you would do what you need to do to play first team football. Anthony is going to Real Betis because he wants to play first team football. He's willing to take a pay cut to go to Real Betis, guys. That shows you the levels of I want to play football. You know, a bit like when Rashford took that bloody lame penalty against Italy, innit? That wraps up Rashford to a T. We all know how Rashford could hit the ball. We all know that Rashford could bury it in the top corner, just like he did against PSG a few years ago. But you know what? Against England, and Sancho. No, we don't want these sport brats at this football club. We don't need these sport brats at this football club. And not only them, guys. It's not only them. I don't think I've forgotten about the Luke Shaws, you know, who are disappearing into their bliss, you know, during this preseason. Don't think I know that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Guys, absolutely. Not sure Amorim would get on with Vlahovic, as Amorim has high intensity. One thing about Ruben Amorim, which I like, is that he doesn't take any prisoners. He's very, very strict. And I like that about him, because I feel like this team need a bit of strictness, right? The thing with Amorim, he's not like Jose Mourinho, who's completely rogue in regards to the way he treats players. He's very articulate in the way he treats players. And articulate in a way that, you know what, tactically, cleverly gets rid of players and says you're not wanted. You know, basically, that's it. You're not doing it for me, out the door. The smiling assassin, as I said, when he walked into the football club. So one thing about him I do like is that he is ruthless, you know, and he does not want Rashford and Sancho at this football club. I can tell you that right now. I don't want Rashford and Sancho going to the US tour. They should stay at home and go to Carrington and be training on the pitch, because at the end of the day, we got Rashford, right, who was flirting with Barcelona for weeks. Flirting with Barcelona. We got Sancho, who all year has been talking about freedom, has been talking about, anti-Man United little subliminal quotes and things like that he's written on Twitter, as with what he did with Eric Ten Hag as well before. You got Garnacho who's wearing an Aston Villa jersey. Do you know what I mean? And some people still can't quite grasp what that means, you know what I mean? Which is absolutely highly disrespectful in regards to Man United, you know, at the end of the day. Sal, which is your priority goalkeeper on midfield? My priority goalkeeper has always been a player like Milinkovic-Savic. I would like a goalkeeper like that myself. I would like a young, up-and-coming, tall, domineering goalkeeper like that who's got a personality. Alex Ferguson noticed something in the Milinkovic-Savic many years ago, and, I like him as well. You know, I think he's a very good goalkeeper. Verbruggen would be a goalkeeper for me that I would very highly dearly like. Seny Lamens is another goalkeeper that I like. I just doubt that we're going to go after that type of goalkeeper. I think we're going to go after an experienced goalkeeper like Martinez. I mean, Marco Konosecki is one of them that I like as well. Is he the right goalkeeper for Man United? Maybe. At least he's young. He's up and coming. Maybe Man United might bring in two goalkeepers. I don't know. It's just the money side of things that's going to be the problem, isn't it? I think Martinez would be probably the best bet that Man United get, because Costa's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost about 40 million, of course. Absolutely. Yale, I don't think we'll sign a striker near deadline day. I think, Yale, you may be right. I think that Man United might not sign a striker until we might drag it out, which is going to be frustrating. This is the annoying thing for me. Because we take it so long. How long ago was it we first bid for Mbeumo? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we got the deal done. He wanted to go to Man United and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? The deal should have been done already, of course. The here we go should have been done, and he should have been walking into the football club on the 1st of July. Now, look, we're still ironing out finer details of the deal, which is a bit concerning for me. It is concerning for me because we shouldn't be ironing out finer details of the deal. I believe the deal is done, 99%, as I've always said. But obviously, Brentford are digging their heels in. In regards to the striker, if we go after a striker and we're acting like this, then obviously it's going to drag into August, which I don't want. But obviously, notoriously through history, this has always happened. I cannot see how Man United are going to change the record. The biggest concern for me, Yale, is that we need more than just a striker. We need more. We need players out as well. Sancho, Rashford, Anthony, Garnacho need to leave the football club. Luke Shaw needs to leave the football club. Casemiro needs to leave the football club. And obviously Mason Mount maybe need to leave the football club as well. We've lost Lindelof, Eriksson, and Evans, at the end of the day as well. 3 players are missing. We've replaced them with 1. Now, look, when you think about last season, we lost Varane and we lost Rashford and we've lost Anthony, we need more players in there. We've got a very thin squad. I know we ain't got many games next season, but obviously if we want to challenge for that top 4, we need to give us the biggest chance of challenging for it. Big up. Sal, big up, John. Sal, do you think Gyokeres will happen? For me, I think there is always a possibility, John, whilst he hasn't signed a contract. As we said yesterday on the show with obviously the Portuguese journalist Sebastio Pinto Sousa Pinto. What I would say is that whilst he has not signed a contract for Manchester for any club, there's always a possibility that he could sign for Manchester United. I want to know why it's taken so long. I want to know why he hasn't signed for any football club yet. I know he's on holiday, but surely that deal would have been done by now if he was going to us now. He's going to Man United. So that does put it into the court of Man United. In my opinion, this makes it look like more likely he's going to go to Man United. But then again, you got Arsenal lurking around. But Arsenal, as we said yesterday, was fake in regards to he wants to go to Arsenal. That was fake news. As we said, it was fake news. And I always confirmed that before. It was always, but there's always a chance that Gyokeres will go to Manchester United. Now, it doesn't take a rocket science to know that. Yeah, it doesn't take a rocket science to know that Man United or Arsenal are the choices between the two things. Arsenal are going after Sesko. So what is going to happen? Is Sesko going to sit on the bench, or is Gyokeres going to sit on the bench? Arsenal are not going to get both strikers. They're going to get one or the other. So I would say this, that he has a 60% chance of going to Man United. A 60%, right? But I'm not... That's what I say, because I feel like there's something going on there. You know, when you think about Gyokeres, I said many weeks ago, guys, months ago, Man United and Gyokeres have a gentleman's agreement. Now, what's on that gentleman's agreement? What are the stipulations on that gentleman's agreement is a different story, right? We don't know that. Maybe the gentleman's agreement was basically like, well, Ruben, if you get to the Champions League, I'm going to go to Man United. Maybe it was that. But if you don't get to the Champions League, it's going to be difficult for me to decide. Maybe that was the stipulation in the gentleman's agreement. We don't know that, but there was a gentleman's agreement. And Ruben Amorim and Gyokeres, they speak regularly. They are friends. Subject to popular belief, they are friends and they talk regularly. So at the end of the day, look, I wouldn't be surprised if he signed for Man United. I wouldn't be surprised if he signed for Arsenal. But one thing I would be surprised about if Arsenal sign Sesko and Gyokeres, that would be surprising. So if Arsenal sign Sesko, the deal for Gyokeres suddenly goes up a notch, doesn't it, at the end of the day? But let's not forget, Liverpool are lurking around every single player at the moment. They're going after every single player that Man United want. So we have to act quickly and shrewdly, you know, because you snooze, you lose in this game. You snooze, you lose in this game. We have to start acting quickly and start acting like a professional football club. Big up, John. Sal, why do we not go for gettable transfers? Because gettable transfers are not the transfers that are going to take elevate Man United to the next level, brother. You know, Natty. We need players that are going to elevate Man United. You know, Cunha and Mbeumo are perfectly gettable players. Not easily gettable, but they're gettable. And they're players that are going to change the fortunes of Manchester United. You got 20 goals for Mbeumo. You got 15 goals for Cunha. Those are difficult transfers to do, but they got the transfers over the line almost with Mbeumo. You know, so you can't just go over, you know, Dean Smith in League One, you know what I mean, because he's gettable. You have to get players that are really, you know, going to elevate Man United to the next level. Now, you could do your scouting. You can go around the world. Like, I know that Man United have gone to the Club World Championship and looking at players there. There's some scouts over there. So hopefully we might find a bargain or two. You know, you never know. We might find a bargain or two. Maybe one or two players might come into the football club that we have not heard of before. It's like, you know, a bit unknown quantity and stuff. So that could happen as well. You know, because this World Cup Championship for me is a perfect opportunity for the Man United scouts to go over there and find the next big thing. And you're looking at players from all around the world in that tournament who can possibly go for very, very cheap. You know? Absolutely. Home design. Amorim really wants to go number 9 by the start of preseason. Let's see if he can make that happen. He will sign another number 9 after preseason starts as well. He wants the front three working together ASAP. I agree, home design LA. You're absolutely spot on with that notion, because if we can get those front three, right, and we can work on those front three over the preseason, that is what we need. Last season, we're struggling to score goals. Ruben Amorim needs his attacking triangle in that team right now. He needs it like so we can work on different patterns and shapes in regards to scoring goals. Because at the end of the day, you know, subject to popular belief, you know, you need to work on your strikers. You need to work on your shape, especially on the attacking front. And I think that Ruben Amorim wants to do that. And there is rumors about Ruben Amorim being frustrated that things haven't been done as effectively as they should be done at the moment. And I agree with him. Because, you know what, we need to get a lot of work done. If we manage to get Mbeumo through the door, if we manage to get a striker through the door, I will be content up until the 7th of July. That will be like, well, you know what? At least we got our strikers in place. At least we got our attacking players in place. But if we start going into August, right, and we ain't got a striker, then I'm going to start being a little bit annoyed. Hopefully, even if we get him in August, we get him in early August. So if we get a player in early August, we still have some friendly games that we can work on the tactics and stuff like that. That will be good. But there's a lot of criticism in regards to, for example, Ugarte, right? Ugarte last season did not have a preseason. And Ugarte's form last season was inconsistent. He had some good games. He had some bad games. Why is that? Because he didn't have a preseason. I cannot stress how important it is to get the players in early. We have to get the players in early. And Ruben Amorim, with his distinctive style of play, has to work on the system with these players. Absolutely. And I guarantee you, if we get those players in, if we get the players in that we need, I guarantee you next season, we will be singing from a completely different hymn sheet, guys. We will be talking about something positive. Fingers crossed. Absolutely. Hopefully. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Timo. To be honest, this season, it's go big or go home for the Glazers and Ineos. Otherwise, Amorim will be gonna be back to square one again. Timo, I said it the other day. I said it, and I'm not going to change from my stance in regards to this. If Ruben Amorim doesn't get sufficiently backed this summer, I personally think myself, Ruben Amorim should walk. I do. I think he should walk. Because at the end of the day, I know he won't walk because obviously it's a lot of money. But I personally think that they're leaving him, with a very difficult job to do. It's already a difficult job to do right now, but they're leaving him with an even more difficult job to do. So if Ruben Amorim, right, doesn't get back this summer, personally, my thought is walk Amorim because. As we spoke yesterday on the interview yesterday, I spoke yesterday with a Portuguese journalist. He told us that, you know what, the system works. You need the players for the system. If you get the players for the system, it's going to work. He destroyed the league with Sporting Lisbon, and he can do the same, with Manchester United. And he needs the players in there to do that. At the end of the day, look, it's just counterproductive and insanity to bring him in if they're not going to back him properly. This is why I believe if they do not back him properly, then look, we might as well just move on and just not even concentrate. Just get Sam Allardyce and get the 4-4-2 in and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, they're not really serious, are they? Absolutely. Big up Timo, the legend. Thank you so much, my friend. Big up yourself. Big up Bill. Big up, absolutely. Big up. I still think we are bringing 3 more players after the number 9. Bill, if that's the case, splendid. I would love that, Bill. At the end of the day, Man United are linked with a lot of players. And I can give you 100 players right now that Man United are linked with, to be honest with you. And hopefully we get around 5 or 6 players through the door. I know we need more. Of course we need more. Luckily, we're not in Europe next season, so we can concentrate primarily on the Cups and the Premier League. I do believe Man United will have a good season next season. And I think Man United will be strong if we get the players in that are linked with us. Because we cannot afford to be going into next season with the same problems. We can't do that at the end of the day. There's still many problems in that football team. Even if we get 5 or 6 players in, I still believe there's many problems in that football team. I think the right wing back is a problem. I don't think Ahmad is a right wing back, in my opinion. I don't think he's defensively astute, as some people think. But you know what? We can cope with the odd thing here and there if we get our strikers in, if we get a new goalkeeper in, maybe a midfielder in as well. Then we can start saying, well, at least we're more, structured and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? I personally feel like Dorgu will have a very good season next season. I'm very excited about Dorgu next season. I saw good things from Dorgu next season. Again, the criticism was harsh, coming from a team like Lecce, coming to the Premier League, never played in the Premier League, and he was, in my opinion, man of the match in the Europa League final as well. So, we have to believe in these players. We have to believe in some of these young players. I think we have a good future with some of these players. But many of those players have overstayed their welcome, and I think they need to leave. Casemiro, in regards to Saudi Arabia, it's looking closer than ever, closer than you ever can imagine, that Casemiro could be going to Saudi Arabia. Now, what do I make of this? Look, personally, I want experience in the Man United team. Casemiro is one of the few players that have experienced at Man United. One of the few players that has won things at Man United. But one thing, the problem with Casemiro is that I do think his legs have gone. Unfortunately, and nature takes its course at the end of the day, doesn't it? I do think his legs have gone. I think he's a little bit slow. If we kept Casemiro, it's an expensive bench option, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, he's getting 370 grand a week, guys, which is a lot of money for Casemiro. Casemiro going to Saudi Arabia would be good for his career. It's a great country, as you know. Ronaldo signed a new contract over there. So you know what? He's loving it over there. So he wouldn't sign another contract otherwise. But I think Man United need to sell Casemiro, get him off the books, build up the FFP. And maybe, just maybe, we can bring in a Baleba. We can bring in a Walton, maybe. We can bring in a player like that, a Richard Rios. Do you know what I mean? We can bring in a player like that who's got more energy about them, more pace, more youthfulness and stuff like that. That would be great, of course. And Natty, we need a prolific striker. Exactly. So, yeah, we need a prolific striker. Someone, look, Harry Kane type. I would say this. I'm not a big fan of Harry Kane, as people say, because I think Harry Kane is a penalty merchant. But what Harry Kane does well, right, is that Harry Kane gets in the right place at the right time to put the ball in the back of the net. I think that's what Man United need. A poacher, a goal scorer. We always used to have these type of players. Nowadays, we don't have these type of players. These players don't exist at Man United anymore, unfortunately. But we do need that, of course. Timo, problem is we don't improve this season. Certain people in the fan base will turn sour and will call for Amorim's head. This is Timo. This is exactly correct, because at the end of the day, look, the problem with people, right? They don't look at things from a bird's eye view. They don't look at things in context. They look at things from a point of view of their own narrative. For example, most of them people who would be turning on him, people who were turning on him last season. For me, I know the problems. Timo, you know the problems. We know what needs to be done. We know that we need players into the football club. We know. But obviously, these people, these so-called fans will not know that. They will know that, but they ignore it, right? They know what the problem is, but they just don't like Ruben Amorim for some reason, because they made up their mind and their ego prevents them from changing their opinion, right? So what it is that I know, for example, that if things go pear-shaped next season, he's a fraud, Portuguese fraud, this, that, and that, what we hearing disgusting things last season, of course. The media, Talk Sport, ESPN FC, and all these clowns will be out there for his head, vying for blood. Already we got Talk Sport talking about, he's going to be a casualty by December, blah, blah, blah. They've already planted the seed. That is growing, you know what I mean? And this is the problem, This is why us as football fans, as Manchester United fans, we have to back Ruben Amorim, because we've been down this road before. We've been down this lane before. We've been through this situation before, that, sacking the manager is not going to do diddly squat. It's not going to do anything. We're going to get another manager in, and he's going to do exactly the same thing. And it's going to be, the tactics and stuff like that. You know what we were talking about when Erik ten Hag was in charge of Man United? We were talking about, Erik ten Hag hasn't got no style of play. He's got no style of play. He's got no identity. When he plays, when we get a manager who has a style of play, I don't like his style of play. I don't like his style. For goodness sake, maybe it's not the style of play. Maybe it's not the tactics. Maybe it's the goddamn players. Maybe it's that. You know what I mean? Maybe they need to look at that, but they don't look at that. They don't look beyond their own nose. This is the thing, and there's people out there who are already Amorim doubt, talking about how Garnacho was right to wear an Aston Villa top. I can't believe anyone. It doesn't matter if it is 1995 or 2005. It doesn't matter. Things have not changed. Winning mentality does not change, right? Winning mentality does not change. The professionalism remains the same as it did from the 60s, the 50s, the 90s. It's the same with Manchester United. You do not wear an opposition shirt. It's as simple as that. And people are there, obviously new school fans, thinking that, it's okay to wear a shirt. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. And it's, for me, it's just disgraceful that they even think like this. But I don't want people calling out Ruben Amorim, as you said, Timo. I'm not going to be doing that. Absolutely not. In particular, if he doesn't get backed. If he gets backed, and we got 6 or 7 players in there, I want to see huge improvements. Of course I do. I think even next season we should see a huge improvement, and I think we will. But what I don't want to see is that as soon as we lose the first game, that's it. Throw him under the bus. That's it. He's not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. Disgraceful. Big up, Timo. Great comment. Morning, Sal. Hope you're doing well. Morning, everyone. What have I missed, Sal? Big up, Graham. Nothing much, brother. Nothing much. We're just going through transfer news and obviously Ruben Amorim, of course. Big up, Graham. Hope you're doing well. Their midfield reminders is a beast. I think for me, City will win the league. We'll have to wait and see. I hope not. Grayo, 172, only 30 likes. So come on, guys, special likes. Come on, guys, let's get up to 50 likes. Can we get to 50 likes? There is 191 of you in the house. Come on, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Bless you. I have a feeling Rashid might go to Newcastle. I mean, look, one thing I will say about that, Bill, is that they got Anthony Gordon, haven't they? So is he going to be in place of Anthony Gordon? Another thing is that Rashford is very, very tunnel visioned in what he wants. He doesn't want any other football club apart from Barcelona, which leaves Man United in a bit of a predicament, leaves Man United in a difficult situation, because at the end of the day, you're leaving our options short. You know what I mean? You're leaving our options short. He should not have the decision to decide where he wants to go at the end of the day. Look, I know ultimately it is his decision, but as a footballer, he should be like, right, I want to play first in football. I want to get to the World Cup 2026 squad. So I need to play football. Where am I going to go where I'm going to play football? Barcelona is certainly not that team. You're not going to play football at Barcelona, mate, ahead of Lewandowski, Rafinha, Pedri, Lamine Yamal, etc. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to play football there. You'll probably be on the bench, my guy, at the end of the day. So what I would say is this, right? Rashford, if you want to go to the World Cup in 2026, your best bet is to go to a football club that will value you, that will play you. And that's what I would say about that. Stop thinking about, my brand, Rashford brand. You know, that's what he's thinking about at the end of the day. He ain't thinking about anything else. He ain't thinking about football. He's thinking about Rashford brand. That's what he's thinking about at the end of the day. He'll end up like Russell Brand if he carries on like this. Absolutely. Home design. Amorim would get on very well with Osimhen. I would love that. I would love that. Home design LA. I'm a big fan of Osimhen. I think Osimhen is a great person. I mean, I've heard great stories about him with Naples, being connected to Napoli, of course, as I am. You know, I've heard big stories about him. Obviously, there was a fallout within the Napoli ranks. But I do believe that it will get on well with Amorim because Amorim is a likable person. I think people who don't like Amorim have a problem with themselves. I think there's generally, in regards to people who don't like Amorim, you look at them and you just think, oh, well, no wonder they don't like him. Do you know what I mean? But there you go. I think he will do very well. He's my favorite home design. He's my favorite striker, but don't think we're going to get him. United should not spend at PSG. Their wage bill is highest in the world, 200 million more than ours, cooking the books like City. Mark, but you know what I would say, Mark? Fair play to them. Well done. Well done. They're getting away with it, mate. They're getting away with it. Who gives a damn? Who cares? They're winning. I don't care. You know what I mean? When people were saying that we used to cheat in the 90s and we used to bribe the referees and things like that, do you think I cared? I don't care. We're winning. And that's all I care about. I don't care about all this morality high ground. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, if rules can get manipulated, what's the point of following rules anyway? Right? Lyon have been relegated to Division 2, the Liga 2, right? Juventus have been deducted points. Man City swept under the carpet. You know? So why are we abiding by the rules, going by the book, goody, goody, two shoes? Why are we doing that for? You know, if the rules can be bent, why don't we break them at the end of the day? Because I'm not in for all this formal crap, you know, about, Man United should be, we got FFP and PSR. I mean, I say it because I'm a professional bloody content creator. I have to be partial in regards to what I'm saying and not say anything too untoward. But I can't help myself sometimes because these rules are being manipulated. Right? And once these rules are being manipulated, you know, it puts a farce on the whole situation, doesn't it? And on the whole thing. And that's what I would say about that. I would say as well, I want to big up Terry Flewers because Terry Flewers said it, and I listened to him as well. I listened to him about this. He said it right. He said, maybe Man United need to take a hit. Maybe Man United need to take a risk. And Terry's worked in finance, so I know a lot about Terry. Obviously, I've been on his channel a few times. You know, so what I would say is that maybe Man United should take a hit. Maybe Man United should risk a points deduction. Man United should risk a fine just to override FFP a bit and PSR. But let me tell you something about this, right? Man United have 250 million to spend to comply with PSR. Does that mean they have 250 million? Probably not. They probably don't have that money because they don't want to spend that money. You know, Ineos, the biggest criticism I would have in regards to Ineos, in regards to Jim Ratcliffe, and I want to know the answer because I haven't had the answer yet. He had 5 billion. He put 1 billion into Manchester United, right? He was going to buy Chelsea for 5 billion. Where's the other 4 billion gone? And that's what I want to know about that. You know, I want to know answers because at the end of the day, I want to know. There might be a perfectly reasonable answer for this, and I just want to know what it is. Can someone explain? We need 100 likes to stop Sal from singing. Smash the likes. Thank you, Bill. Bill, you're losing, mate. I'm going to sing for you. Look, listen, what I would do, Bill, if Man United win trophies next season, you will see me sing and you can't hold me back, mate. You can't hold me back. You're going to see me. Absolutely. You'll see me. You're going to see me singing next season. I sing all the time, Bill. That's what I do, unfortunately, for you. I do sing. It's a way to calm me a little bit. I like to sing. I like to do. I wake up in the morning. I'm always like that. Do you know what I mean? It's always good to be like that, of course. You know what I mean? I do like that. I'm a musical guy, man. But ever since I was a kid with my vinyls and stuff like that, I did like it. Big up Timo, the legend of Timo. Big up my friend. Timo's a legend, by the way. Big up Timo. City will win the Premier League. F Liverpool. See a slot. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's a bit like basically it's one of the worst. It's a bit like trying to choose whether to amputate your thumb or your finger. You know, at the end of the day, you don't want to amputate anyone. You know, at the end of the day, look, you look at Liverpool and Man City. It is a very, very horrible situation that we're in right now. And this is the situation I wouldn't wish for Man United fans. I don't think Man United fans deserve this. I think Man United deserve a lot better. I think Man United deserve an ownership that are really focused on improving Manchester United on the pitch. I don't care about regeneration projects. I'll be totally frank with you guys. I don't care about that. I want to stay at Old Trafford. I don't give a shit about some circus-looking bloody stadium that has no soul. I want Man United to stay at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? That is where we were built. That is our legacy. That's how we became Manchester United, was Old Trafford. Man United and Old Trafford, like this, right? So at the end of the day, I don't care about their regeneration projects and their bright lights. I care what happens on the pitch. I don't give a damn if we're playing at Hackney Marshes as long as we're winning on a goddamn football pitch. Do you know what I mean? That is all I care about at the end of the day. Now, you know what? Look, guys, Liverpool, Man City, you know, at the end of the day, are still in a march on us. We spent years removing Liverpool from their perch, as Alex Ferguson once said. We spent years. It took a long time, as Alex Ferguson said. It took a long time. It was difficult. We spent time removing Liverpool from their perch. And we're slowly but surely allowing Liverpool to go back on their perch. We're slowly but surely letting our rivals, Man City, Uwe, Rosler, you know what I mean, all these type of players, bloody Gary Walsh sort of players, overtake us. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't be letting this happen. We're flipping Man United. We've always been Man United, and we need to move to be successful on the football pitch, in my opinion. That's what we need to do. Rashid, good morning. Brother, I just don't understand why we buy Trubin, a Benfica keeper, for 35 million. Marco's average keeper at Atlanta is demanding too much for ordinary keeper. He's about 40 million, the same price, my friend Rashid. I wouldn't go for any of those. I would go for Sedi Lamens, who's about 20. I would go for that. I would go for Milinkovic-Savic, who's about the same 25. I would go for that kind of signing myself. That's the goalkeeper that I would go for, in my opinion. Hesty, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. At best, we can only get 3 new players in by the preseason. I mean, if we're lucky, Hesty, absolutely. 2 more comes when the league starts and then they get the preseason are not ready. This is the problem that we're going to have. Hopefully, look, one thing is for certain. Hopefully, that one thing we want is that Man United to beat Arsenal. If Man United beat Arsenal, we'll be singing from a different hem sheet. I'm pretty sure about that, because there'll be a lot of confidence and enthusiasm. And then if we go and beat Fulham and then go and beat Burnley, we're going to be getting a little bit excited, isn't it, at the end of the day? But the key is to beat Arsenal. First game is to beat them, and then we go on from there, of course, absolutely. Uwara, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning. Please, can update on Man United looking for a goalkeeper and a midfielder. Man United are looking for a goalkeeper and midfielder, but at the moment they're trying to get Mbeumo through the door, which should be anytime soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But you know what? One thing is for certain: Man United will be looking for a goalkeeper and will be looking for a midfielder if it is feasible. Because Man United at the moment, the next thing they're going to be doing is looking for a striker. They're fixing the attack first. Once the attack is done, I'm pretty sure they'll move down into the team in regards to the midfield and the goalkeeper. I think that's what they're going to do, in my opinion. Big up, Uwara. Gyokeres is going to be a free payment structured deal. If we can put the money together for a large first payment, we'll sign him. It's going to have to be 25, 30 million for a first payment. Absolutely. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. SD. The gentleman agreement said he's going to 67 million, but that was agreed by Sporting former president. That's why the new president don't feel that obligation to do that. And what I'm talking about, Hesty, I'm talking about between Man United, between Gyokeres and Amorim. Gyokeres and Amorim speak to each other on a regular. Let me tell you that. I know that for a fact, right? They speak to each other at least once a week. Let me tell you that. And so it's basically to do with Amorim and Gyokeres in regards to him going to Man United. Not about the structure of the deal and stuff like that. Nothing to do with that. It's about them talking between each other because they are friends. Dembo, I can see Xerxes, Cunha, working and Højlund in the bench, save money and proper box-to-box midfielder. I just don't think Xerxes is prolific, mate. We need a prolific striker. We're not going to score goals, mate. He's not a prolific. Xerxes has never been prolific. Look at his career. He's never been prolific. Never. Bayern Munich, anywhere he went, never prolific. We need a prolific striker. Someone who could put the ball in the back of the net. He's a number 10 for me. Revert 7. You're on. I thought you were off today, Italy. No, I changed the date, Revert 7, till the 7th of July. I changed the date. I'm going to be going on the 7th because I've got a lot of things to do. I need to go to Qatar. So originally, I was going to go to Qatar because I have to do some work in Qatar. But I was gonna change the flight because obviously the situation with the war and stuff like that. I was going to go the other way towards Oman and go to Qatar later. But I need to go because I've got a big meeting going over there. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go to Qatar and then I'm going to Italy on the 7th of July. So you're going to have to endure me for another few weeks, guys. Sorry, guys. So big up, Leeson. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hassan, what do you think about Walt Marde as a striker? We go for him. Walt Marde. Look, one thing I would say, Leeson, is that there are a lot of strikers out there, guys. There are a lot of strikers out there. And what Man United need to do is find someone who's going to put the ball in the back of the net. That's what I'm saying. We can't be risking and square pegs in round holes. It doesn't work. Trust me, as a fan of 40 years, nearly, we can't be putting square pegs in round holes. For example, Xerxes is a number 9. He's not a number 9. It doesn't work. He's a number 10 for me. But worst case scenario, if we don't get anyone, I would put him there, but I don't think they're going to put him there. It'd be too similar. The three would be too similar. Cunha and Mbeumo and Xerxes would be too similar for me. It won't work. We need someone up there who's strong and powerful, who can put the ball in the net, whose profession is putting the ball in the back of the net. Revat 7. Zai Emery is a top young player. Will be a big coup for him. Still a teenager. Yeah, it will be a big coup. What's going on, my friend? MCQ, what's going on? Victor John Goalkeeper in the World Cup because of us. Cheap. Yeah, mentioned him yesterday, my friend. Mentioned him yesterday. Very good goalkeeper. Very impressed. 29 years old. Botafogo player, of course. Very good. Cheap as well. Cheap. 8 million market value. I mean, maybe bring him in as an option to come off the bench or something like that. Maybe we could do that, of course. Definitely. Absolutely. 198, 44. Guys, don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. We've got 140 in the house. Please don't forget to do that, guys. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Blazing, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, mate. What would love Osimhen as our number 9 for next season would be a statement. So it would be Blazing. He's my favorite. You know what I mean? I would love Osimhen at the football club. Basically, he would. Home design, Sal, ability, what you are capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Bad attitude determines what you do. Absolutely, absolutely. Spot on. Guys, absolutely. Riva said, I like the Konoseki kid. Watched him a number of times last season. An excellent shot stopper for Atalanta. Very agile for me. Lacks physical presence and question mark over coming out for crosses. And this is the thing, Revert 7. We have to be careful with this because we've had this problem with Onana. You know, over the last few years, we've had this problem where Man United don't come out for crosses. We need a domineering goalkeeper, just like we need a domineering striker who can put the ball in the net. We need a domineering goalkeeper as well, guys, who can command the area. Do you know what I mean? The goalkeeper should be the kingpin of the penalty area. He should be the one who organizes everything, is control, is confident, takes pressure off the team. Unfortunately, we haven't had that. We have a goalkeeper who puts pressure on the team, of course. CJ's booked a medical. What the fuck is this guy about? You don't book medical. I say, what a bell end. They do, mate. They do book medicals, mate. What are you talking about, fella? You don't know Ethel. How many United managers have their own song? Not many, mate. Not many. Not many. Absolutely. Yeah, not many. Absolutely not. We win something next season. I will do a duet with you, mate. Absolutely, Timo. I hold you to that, mate. I will hold you to that. Absolutely. It's going to be great. Sorry, Bill. Sorry, Bill. It's going to be, we're going to do it, mate. We're going to do it. Absolutely. The medical will be next year, hopefully next week. If not, it'll be the week after in regards to Mbeumo. Things are going to be moving pretty swiftly. Medicals can be booked, by the way. As a guy who's worked at a football club, right? Unlike people who play their little Xboxes, I can see from your logo. You know what I mean? We basically we can book medicals and stuff like that. Guys, I want to thank everyone who's joined me today. Please don't forget to support my interview, obviously, yesterday, which I had, guys, with Sebastião Sousa Pinto, who's a very up-and-coming, good journalist coming up. So don't forget to support that. Guys, absolutely. Big up, everyone. Big up, lies around me. Thank you so much, brother. You're absolute legend. Thank you so much, guys. Look, you know what I would say is that regardless what happens, right, the most important thing is that Man United get the business through the door and they get everything done. I really hope they do. And I don't want to be vying for failure. I want to be vying for them to be successful, you know, and I hope they do because we haven't got much time and we have to get the deals done, right? I personally think that we will be good next season. Regardless, I think we're going to be good next season. I think we will be surprising a lot of people. I really do hope it happens, guys. Absolutely. Saki, I miss the Casemiro if he goes, but we need the money. Agreed, Beef. He's a good player. Sad to see him go. I see us getting a deadline day bomber. Probably. We always do, don't we? We always want to leave it to the last minute, don't we, guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. Big up, everyone. Thank you, everyone who's joined me today. You absolute legends. Guys, thank you. Great show, as usual. Don't worry, we're getting more. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be getting more journalists on the show for Chatterbox, guys. So I've already had Ben Jacobs. Ben Jacobs will be coming on the show again, guys. So it's going to be good. Hopefully, when I go to Italy, I'll be getting a couple of more as well, guys, if you know what I mean. So, but guys, thank you. Please don't forget to put your notifications on. Exactly, Araya. Every medical is booked for any sport. That guy needs to stop most smoke. I mean, obviously, Araya, bigger Araya, by the way, knows the stuff. Absolutely, obviously. You know, it just goes without saying. Some people just say stupid things. Guys, thank you everyone who's joined me. Don't forget to put your notifications on in case I go live, guys. Please don't forget to smash the like. We're well on our way to 12,000 subscribers, guys. So let's get into that, guys. Absolutely. And please show your support to the channel. Big up everyone. I will see you later on for Chatterbox. If I don't see you later on for any breaking news, of course, which could possibly happen, guys. Of course. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. Take it easy. I'll see you later. Peace.